give me £1 million or that letter. You know, I got the best with that letter, in my eyes. And in my family's eyes. Especially my brother, who, because we're dead close, and he saw the effects when I got the diagnosis and that, but now he's like, back to normal again now. Well, I got up one morning and there was a letter on the doorstep, and read it, and I was invited for a lung check. If you're between 55 and 74, I didn't have any doubt about going for that lung check. It was the first thing I did when I got that letter. I didn't have any symptoms whatsoever, none at all. I was playing football, running about. The young kids were tired, were out doing the young kids, those oldies, and the young ones are like throwing up because they're tired, and we were beating them. And come on, go to the gym with my son. No symptoms whatsoever. And I just went for that checkup from my lungs, not expecting anything. Lost my mum to lung cancer. My great granddad died of lung cancer as well, so it does run in the family. And that's another reason he answered that letter as well, but mainly because of my mum. So I just phoned them up, and they said, would I be interested in an interview on the phone? So I says, yeah. So they phoned back, interviewed me. They asked me, did he have any symptoms or anything like that? I said, well, I stopped smoking over 8.5 years ago, but I've always had this cough, which I still got. And he said, just asking me questions like, do I get out of breath? I said, no. He said, how long did you stop for? I said, I stopped 31st of October 2013. He said, well, you tick all boxes, especially with that little cough you've got. And he said, can you come in this afternoon? We've got a cancellation for a CT scan. And I thought, right, go on, I'll go for that. So I went in 4:30, and they told me I had to go in this tube. It was all new to me, this. I looked at it as an adventure. So you just go in there and take everything out of your pockets, and they put you on a bed, and then they shove the bed up the tube, and that's it. You're just in there, and it takes all these different pictures of, I think it's 600 photographs a second or something, all over your body. And you're in there about 10-15 minutes. And then 2 days later, the doctor phoned and said, we found a little growth on the top right lung. So he says, don't worry about it. I said, okay. So he phoned back and he says, can you go to Wigan for a PET scan on the Saturday? So this was the Wednesday I had my scan. So a couple of days later I went to Wigan, and I had a PET scan. I had that scan, I went home, and phone call a couple of days later saying that the dye went all on it. And raised the concern that it could be something sinister, they said. And I said, okay. So they said, can you come and have a biopsy? So, cut long story short, I went for a biopsy, and they took a piece. It was that small, they said they might not be able to get it, but they did in the end. They got 2 pieces, and then a couple of days later, they invited me back to the hospital and gave me the diagnosis that I had lung cancer. It was scary when I got the diagnosis, but as I say, everything had happened so quick. So it was like something I wasn't expecting. But the doctor who told me, the first thing is out of his mouth was saying, but you're a success story. So as soon as he said that, I thought, right, I've got a chance of survival here. Because, you know, in 18 months' time, it would have been a different conversation. And anyway, they got me, a few days later, I was within Shore Hospital, and because they got it that early, the surgeon said it's keyhole surgery for you. Next morning the surgeon come in and said, you can go home today. So I was in at night and then home 4:30 the next day. And I was like, was that a dream or what's going on? And it's all because of that letter I received from the NHS asking me to go. Back to normal virtually now. Virtually back to normal. My scar's healed. I'm back in the gym. I'm building myself back up again. Seeing my grandchildren every day, watching them play football and rugby. It's just my world, really. I go down to see them and they just make me smile all the time. Because the grandchildren love the bones off me. They always, you know, write me little letters, and they would have been gutted if anything happened to me. You know, you go to bed at night and you're thinking, I'm lucky, really lucky. That's all to do with that letter I got.